Welcome to our 2026 revision class. So in this class, we'll be tackling or we'll be solving questions that are mostly repeated in mathematics paper 1. So in our first episode, we are going to cover algebra and sequence, one of the most repeated or one of the topic which comes each year. So in this video, I'll basically show you in simple, easy to understand steps. You will see that you will never forget algebra and sequence. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the share button and also comment. And at the end of the video, I'll share some important tips and tricks on how you can solve mathematics paper 1 effectively. So be sure to stick through to the end of the video. So now to begin, we have our first question, which is saying simplify 3x plus 3 minus 2x x minus 1 in brackets. Yeah, so here what do you need to understand? So the first step, whenever you see brackets, just know that you have to start with what is inside the brackets. So in our case, what do we have inside the bracket? So we have x plus 3 and x minus 1. So how can you get whatever is inside the bracket outside? So we can get this by what? By multiplying this number with everything inside the bracket. We want to get those things outside. So we are going to say 3 times x, we have 3x. 3 times 3, we have 9. Then you come this side, you say negative 2x times x, we have what? Negative 2x squared. Again, you say negative 2x times negative 1, you have what? Positive 1. So again, here is where student get the answer wrong. The signs also matters. So negative multiplied by negative, it is always what? Positive. So these simple steps are what student overlook and get the answer wrong. Also, when you multiply negative 2x times negative 1, we get negative 2x, not negative 1. And as I was saying, this is where student get the answer wrong. They say negative times negative, they get what? The negative side. No, negative times negative, we get what? Positive. Negative divided by positive, we get what? Negative. So these are the two simple rules which we need to understand. Yeah, so now getting back to our question, we said that the first step when you are simplifying is to expand what is inside the bracket. So here we have expanded, so meaning step 1 we have completed. Step 2, group the like terms. So group the like terms. So what are the like terms? We can see that we have x here and also x here, meaning these two are what? They are like terms. We have x squared, but we don't have another x squared. We have a number just alone, but we don't have a number alone. So we say 3x plus 2x plus 9 minus 2x squared, like that. So now, since we have these two like terms, meaning you can what? Add. Yeah. So again, this is where students get the question wrong when adding. So Remember, we add numbers, not letters. So again, I repeat, we add what? Numbers, not letters. So here, x is just x. So you just say 3 plus 2, we have 5. Then you just pick one, x. So here, think of it as you having apples. So here you have 3 apples. Then someone gives you 2 apples. Of course, you have what? 5 apples. If x was representing what? Apples. So don't get confused. Then you say plus 9 minus 2x squared, meaning you have gotten your first 2 marks. So what is the take away point here? So the take away point here is that whenever you're dealing with simplification, the first step is what? Expand what is inside the brackets. Then the second step is what? Group like terms. Then the third is add the like terms. So once you do these 3 steps, basically you have solved the first question. So I'm taking a lot of time to explain this question because this is the extensive revision for GCE. We are going deep in math to help you pass. Yeah. So moving on to our second question, which is evaluate 4 1/2 times 4. So whenever we look at this question, I won't waste much of the time. So whenever we look at this question, remember the laws of indices. So this question was gotten from laws of indices. So those topics from grade 10, they come. These are the 12 easy marks. That's why I told you that these are the 12 easy marks. Why? Because they come from grade 10, and we know that grade 10 is the simplest grade. Yeah. So what are the laws of indices? So I won't talk about all the laws of indices. If you want to learn more about the laws of indices, be sure to check out my video on laws of indices, where I explained all the laws of indices. So here we'll be focusing only on the law which we are going to apply here. So for you to pass the indices in paper 1, you need to master all the 7 laws of indices. So this is just one of the law. So this law states that whenever you have a number raised to a fraction, you take the bottom number as what? As the root. So this is the root. Then this number goes inside. Then whatever is on top becomes the what? The power. So this is the rule. So another example is if you have 4 to the power 3/2, you apply it, you take what is on down, then you say this becomes what? The power. Again, if you have, let's say, 8, then you have 2/3. You take what's down here, which is 3, then 8, then what? 2. So always remember, whatever is on top becomes the power. Then whatever is below becomes the what? The root. So the reason we are not writing 2 is because square root represents what? 2. Yeah. So now getting back to our question. So you have understood now. So no need of explaining. So we have 4 to the power 1/2 times 4. So remember, whenever they tell you to evaluate, in other terms, they are telling you to what? To solve this. Yeah. So now you say the square root of 4 to the power what? 1 times 4. So the square root of 4 is what? 2 times 4. Then you say 2 times 4 is what? 8. So that is how simple questions are in paper 1. So what do you need to understand here? So here I won't explain a lot. Just go watch my video on what? On laws of indices. I'll provide the description I'll provide the link in the description. Yeah. So moving on to our third question, which is factorization. So factorization is also one of what? The most repeated questions which you can get free marks. So now, how do you factorize? So whenever you hear the word factorize, just remember that they're asking you to remove what is common. So you have seen this equation. Of course, we can't see what is common here. So our goal is to remove whatever is common here. So step 1, you write the what? The equation. So I'll solve this here. Yeah. So we have 3a minus c minus 3a b plus bc. So they are telling us to factorize this complete. So how can you factorize this complete? So step 1 is group the like terms. Again, I repeat, group the like terms with common things. Here, the like terms should have common things, which is, it can either have A, or C. Yeah. So, now you can pick them. Yeah. So, you say 3A is as like terms with what? Minus. So this is, you take the entire what? Number with the sign. So this is minus 3ab. Then what do we remain with? We have c, and here we have also c. So these are also like terms. So you say minus c plus b c. Yeah. So now here is where the word factorize is used. So here now you can remove what is common, because here we didn't have what was common, but here now we have what is common here and here also. So what is common here? So here what is common is 3a. So you say 3a. Then you say open brackets. So whenever we are removing something common, we have to introduce the brackets. Yeah. So what you need to understand when they say factorize, meaning we are dividing what? What is common and what is not common. So meaning you say 3a divided by 3a, we have 1, because they are cancelling each other. Then again you move on to the second one. So 3a divided by 3ab, we have minus b as our answer. So this is what is common this side. We only have 3a. Then moving on to the next side. So this is where now again this principle applies. Negative times negative, we have positive. So meaning in this positive we have how many negatives? 2. So meaning what is common now here? What is common here is what? Negative c. So we have negative c here and negative c here. So you say negative c divided by negative c, we have 1. Then since we said that in this positive we had how many negatives? 2. So if we remove one negative, meaning we are remaining with one negative, then you say b. Yeah. So once you have two common things, meaning your answer is correct. Now you just pick whatever is in the bracket and whatever is outside the bracket. So your final answer will be 3a minus c, then 1 minus b, which means you have gotten another 2 marks. So right now you have gotten how many marks? 6 marks, which are very, very easy to get in what? Mathematics paper 1, if you just what? Follow these steps I'm showing you. They are simple to understand. Yeah. Then moving on to our next question, which is solve the equation x minus 1 in bracket squared minus 25, which is equal to 0. So what do you need to understand about equations? So whenever you have an equation with a squared, is equals to 0. Yeah. So whenever you have a quadratic equation, this is what we call a quadratic equation because it has a 2. So whenever you have a 2, it is known as a quadratic. Whenever it has a 3, it is known as a cubic. So what you need to understand here is that whenever you have what is called a quadratic equation, your first thing is you should have 2 answers. So always whenever you have a quadratic equation, what should come into your mind are 2 answers, one positive and the other one negative. So whenever you see a 2, remember quadratic. Yeah. So how can we solve? So the first step is, since this is a 2, and when you look at this next number, you can think of 5. You can say 5, when I multiply 5 2 times, I'll get what? 25. You have seen. Yeah. So if you multiply 5 2 times, you get what? 25. So you say this is a perfect square. So now you can move this to the other side. So you say x minus 1 squared is equals to 25. Then now you can say the square root of both sides, because whatever you do on this side, you should also what? Do on the other side. This is the rule. Whenever you introduce a square root here, you also introduce a square root here. Yeah. Then the square root and the 2 will cancel. Then you say x minus 1 is equals to the square root of 25. We said is what? 5. So the square root means what number can give us 25 if we multiply itself 2 times. So that is 5. Then here we said that whenever you see a quadratic equation, how many answers? 2. So meaning here is a positive or negative 5. Then here is where now the 2 answers will come. So you say x minus 1 is equals to 5, or x minus 1 is equals to negative 5. Then you solve now for what? For x. You say x is equals to 5 plus 1, or x is equals to negative 5 plus 1. Then here you say x is equals to 6, or x is equals to negative 4. Meaning you have solved your equation. The equation at first was looking hard, but once you understand the principle behind it, you can find that this question is actually simple. Now moving on to our next question, which is arithmetic. So I said this series I'll combine it with arithmetics. So you see questions on arithmetics, and you also see question on what? Sequence. So this first topic will basically have 5 episodes where I'll tackle from 2025 up to 2020 questions on algebra and sequence. Then we'll also move on to the next topic, just like that. So that's why I'm encouraging you to join our full guidance on first revision. Yeah. So I'll take this time to advertise. So be sure to inbox me if you want to join our First Revision Academy online tuitions, where we offer all tuitions in all the courses: math, English, biology, physics, and chemistry, including our revision which we are starting this month for GCE. Yeah. So getting back to our question now. So we are saying that the question is saying, given that 7, 11, 15, 19 is an arithmetic progression, find the 10th term. So for those of you watching this video for the first time, you might not understand what arithmetic progression means. So imagine you are climbing the stairs. So these stairs represent what? Numbers. So imagine you are on stair number 7. Then you jump to what? To 11. Again, you jump to, from 11, you jump to what? 15. So now here you might think of, how many steps am I jumping? So each step you take, you are jumping 4 stairs. So this is what is known as the arithmetic progression. You are moving in what? In steps with a common number. So you keep on adding the same number over and over and over again. You keep just going. 7 plus 4, 11. 11 plus 4, 15. 15 plus 4, just like that. So in our case, since we cannot manage just adding numbers like that, to waste a lot of time. So we have come up with a equation, or we have come up with an equation which we use to help us to solve quickly numbers that are in a arithmetic progression, because we know that you are adding the same common thing. So what is the formula? So the formula is, so remember these formulas I'll show you here, you need to memorize them for your paper 1. So the first formula is the one we use. It is a plus n minus 1 divided by times d. So what is the meaning of the terms? So those that are watching this video for the first time are confused. What does a mean? What does n mean? What does d mean? How am I going to know all this in this short period of time? Don't worry. So a in simple terms is just the first term. Whatever is at the first is a. So a is what? The first term. Then n, since we said that the number keep on what? Increasing. So meaning if a is the first term, meaning we also have the second term, we also have the third term, we also have the fourth term, we also have the fifth term, and in our case we also have the 10th term. So n just represents the term we are calculating, the position as it is. So in our case, since they want the 10th term, our n is 10. So whatever term they are calculating, that should be your n. If it's 12 terms, n should be 12. That is how it goes. Then when it comes to d, remember I told you that whenever you are jumping the stairs, you are jumping with the same number, which was 4. So 4 is our what? Common difference. And how do we calculate that? So for us, there is the way we found out that for me to jump the stairs, I was jumping 4 steps. We subtracted what? The second term minus the first term, which was 11 minus 7, which is 4. Again, subtract 15 minus 7, which is 4. So 4 is our d, and it is known as the common difference. The difference among all our numbers in our terms. Yeah. So this is the explanation of the formula. So now that you have understood the meaning of the formula, we can move to solving our first part of the question, which is find the 10th term. So how can you find the 10th term? So you say t, so remember I told you n represents what? The term we are calculating. So you say 10, a is our first term, plus n, the term we are calculating, which is 10, minus 1. Then d is our common difference. Then here you say 7 plus 10 minus 1. Start with what is in the bracket. 10 minus 1, we have 9 times 4. So here, BODMAS. So before addition, you have to multiply. So always remember, before you add or subtract, multiply. Before you multiply, divide if you have division. So if you have division and multiplication, divide before you add. That's the body mass. So most of you just say body mass. So 9 times 4, we have what? 36. So you say 7 plus 36. Remember, this is paper 1. You don't use the calculator. Then 7 plus 36, we have what? So 7 plus 36, we have 43 as our answer. Yeah. So this is what is on the 10th term. We have 43. So we keep on adding until we reach number 10. We have what? 43. So you can try, if you have time, you keep on adding from 19, you add until you reach 10. You will see that it's 43. Yeah. So moving on to our second question, which is the sum of the first 12 terms. How can you calculate the sum of the first 12 terms? So that will be our part B. So remember, again, here we have a formula for you to remember. So this formula, the letters are the same, so the meaning will be the same. So the formula is the one which is different. So we have the sum n divided by 2. We have 2a plus n minus 1. We have d. So everything is the same, but we have an addition of n divided by 2 and 2. So these are just the three things we have added to this formula so that we can find now the sum. So what is the meaning of the sum? So now they are saying add this term. Of course, if you start adding, you don't have a calculator. You can't add 7 plus 7 plus 15 plus 19 plus until you reach 12. It will take a lot of your time. So that's why there is this formula. So you need to remember these formulas for your paper 1. These are the only formulas I think which you have to remember in paper 1. So now what is the meaning? We say that A means the term they are asking. So here you say n is 12. Again, here where there is n, you put 12 divided by 2. So wherever there is n, we are going to be just putting 12. Wherever there is a, we are going to just be putting 7. Just like that. So we have 2a, which is 7 plus n, we said 12 minus 1. D, we said 4. Remember the common difference. Then here you divide. 2 divided by into 12, you have 6. Then 2 times 7, you have 14 plus 12 minus 1, we have 11. Then here you have 4. Then I said if you have addition and multiplication, do what? Multiply. So we have 14 plus 44. Then here we have what? 6. The reason we are not multiplying 6 and this because we have brackets. Both must start first with what is in the brackets. So we have 14 plus 44, we have 58. Then if you multiply now, 6 multiplied by 58, you have 348 as your final answer. Yeah, so this is how you can solve arithmetic progression and algebra question. So looking at the final question in our episode 1 of this 2025 revision is our equation. Again, back to algebra. So here the equation is saying solve the equation x 3 divided by 2 is equals to 8. So here the principle which you need to apply is quite simple but tricky. Yeah, the question is looking simple but it's quite tricky. Remember, it's 2 marks. This is our 12th mark. So far we have gotten every question correct. So if you follow each and every step I've showed you, you'll get this first 12 marks correct. Yeah. So how can you solve this equation? So whenever you see a letter raised to a fraction, remember, letter raised to a fraction, you have to switch the powers. Remember, letter raised to the fraction, switch the powers. So what do I mean? So we have x raised to 3 over 2. So how can we remove 3 over 2? So remember I told you whatever you do on this side, you also do on the other side. So in this side we said we have 3 over 2. So for us to remain with 1, we are going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is the opposite of 3 over 2, which is 2 over 3. Here we have 1, here we have 1, here we have 1. So whatever we do on this side, we also do on the other side. So we say 8, 2 over 3. So we have now x, which is equal to 8 to the power 2 over 3. Going back to our principle, here we say that whenever you have a number raised to a fraction, you do what? You take the root. So you say the square root of 8. But remember, we don't have 2 here. We have what? 3. Then our power will be 2. So what is the cube root of 8? In short, which number can we multiply by itself 3 times to get 8? Of course, it's 2 times 2 times 2, which gives us 8. So the number which we can multiply is 2. So we say here 2 to the power what? 2. Then you say 2 to the power 2 is what? 4. And your x is 4. This is how simple you can apply what you learned in what? Grade 10. As you are passing your grade 12 exam or your GCE exam. So this is what we have covered. We started by simplifying, evaluating, factorization until we reached here. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so that you don't miss when I release my episode 2, where I will tackle now ECZ 2025 GCE, which they wrote on algebra and sequence. We are just going to be moving just like that.